Hey viewers, 2Fortis here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the One Piece live action TV show showing on Netflix, which just released today, August 31st, 2023. I was going to make a primer part 2, which was going to be a video of what you might want to know before watching the One Piece show, if you wanted to watch it or not, if that's something interesting for you, just kind of reviewing some of the trailers that have already been put out. But at this point in time, I am not going to make that video. I did make one video talking about my thoughts about One Piece, and in this video I'm going to do kind of a spoiler free for these first few minutes of the live action show of One Piece, and then after that go into full spoilers of episode 1 of the One Piece show. And so if you've never seen One Piece before, don't want to see any spoilers, maybe watch a minute or so and then turn off this video, or just turn off this video now. But if you want to see my kind of thoughts about episode 1 and where this live action show is going to be going, continue to keep watching. So for me, One Piece, I've been watching One Piece for many years now. It is my favorite anime show, by far. My number one favorite anime show. It has over 20 seasons. It's been running for over 20 years. And what I think is really cool about the One Piece show is that the creator, Eiichiro Oda, has created this ongoing series that follows some characters throughout their journey in One Piece. And at the time, it's pretty groundbreaking because there's no other show like it that has done it. You know, a lot of long-running shows, maybe Naruto, but definitely has not been going on as long as One Piece, and potentially Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z as well. But there are little breaks with Dragon Ball. You have Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and so on. So One Piece is just one kind of continuous show. A lot of other shows, like I said, you might take some American shows like The Simpsons, which is a really long running show, and that show is just kind of a bunch of episodes, and you don't need to watch episode 1. You can watch episode 300, 500. I'm not sure how many episodes The Simpsons has, but it all makes sense. You just need to kind of know what some of the characters are, and they all develop their own personalities, but each show is contained within their own show, or maybe 1 or 2 episodes, whereas One Piece is one continuous show. And so that's one of the things that I really like about One Piece. The one thing I also did not know about this series, which was really surprising for me, is that all of the episodes, it looks like there's going to be 8 episodes in total. I thought they were going to be released 1 per week, when actually all 8 episodes dropped today. So that is pretty crazy. Each episode seems to be about little under an hour long. One I think was a little bit over an hour, but most of them were about that 50-minute mark or so, which you can kind of seems to be the trend of some other shows. Another show that has been recently started airing on Disney Plus, which has nothing to do with anime, but it is Ahsoka Tano, or Ahsoka, which is the live action version of Star Wars, following a character, Ahsoka, who is mainly in one of the cartoon series that they have, the Clone Wars, as well as Star Wars Rebels, Yeah, Rebels. And so so that's kind of cool, where it's kind of similar to One Piece, where it was kind of an anime or a cartoon, and then it is now turned into live action. Obviously, live action has not done very well, especially in the anime universe. I can't name there's not very many of them, if at all, that are even up to half the quality of par of the anime, and it doesn't keep true to the anime, and characters are just cast wrong, they say the wrong things, the visuals are bad, the story is bad, the production is bad, the dialogue is bad. And so One Piece has a very high bar being set if they want to try and do better than some of the other anime. And I don't know if it's a high bar or it's a lower bar, because some of those other animes, the production quality was so bad that I feel like it should be fairly easy to cross that bar. What I've also heard for this One Piece live action is the budget is pretty big. So I think there's over $1 million per episode or something like that. I don't remember the exact. This is just what I've heard. So we're talking kind of like Game of Thrones quality, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka quality. So these are some of the standards that this One Piece has to live up to. Now here we're gonna go start talking about some spoilers. So if you don't want to see any spoilers about One Piece or episode 1 or following, then I would turn off this video right now. But we're gonna go straight into it. And honestly, this show is pretty good. There are definitely some bad filming effects that I might have done differently, but for episode 1, I thought the quality was pretty good. I really like the story so far. I like how they kept the Colby with Alvida portion of it in the beginning. That's generally basically what happens in the anime, and they did a pretty good adaptation onto how it portrayed into the live action. One of the big things I was super worried about was, and I still can potentially be worried about it, is the visual special effects. Luffy specifically does some things that just don't portray in the human world, and so those all have to be done by visual effects. And his Gum Gum Jet Pistol, while I thought it looked pretty bad in the trailer, actually looked a lot better in the show. So I am super excited about that. Some of it was not so great, but for the most part, it was pretty good. I like Gum Gum Whip that he used. I thought it was really awesome. The other thing I wasn't too sure about were some of the characters. So Zoro specifically, for me, Zoro is my favorite character in One Piece by far, hands down. There's no competition. Zoro is the greatest character, and I was very skeptical when I first saw who they cast as Zoro. He did kind of look like Zoro, but he wasn't he didn't look very, very big when I saw him. So looking at basically Zoro, his way to get stronger is to exercise, and so he has a good physique. He has a good physique, and he trains a lot mentally and physically, specifically with his swords, because he is a sword fighter and he wants to be the best swordsman in the world. And I really liked how they did Zoro. I am really happy about Zoro. I really like Zoro. I also was wondering how they were going to incorporate getting to know some of the people, how Nami and Zoro met. They was slightly different in the anime, but ultimately it was the same. The part with the kid and her creating the food and all that stuff was kind of interesting. I'm really surprised that they threw that in there. In the beginning, the voice of the person kind of explaining the world was kind of interesting. Like, I like that it wasn't deep. Like, I wish it was a little bit more deep. I wish they've gotten somebody else to do it. It didn't sound very threatening per se. It was okay, but I think if they cast that role a little bit better, it would have been a whole lot better. But it was pretty good. One of the things also that I thought was interesting, which is this is just kind of a film direction. I can kind of see a lot of similarities to Game of Thrones. I did not see the last season, season 8 of the final season of Game of Thrones, so I don't know how it ends. Please don't tell me, because I do plan to watch it at some point in time. But Game of Thrones went with a lighting style of very much a lot darker. You could definitely tell it was much darker. Whereas One Piece does a lot of like backlighting and looking into the sunset or sunrise, looking into the sun, a lot of lighting effects that brighten the subject. And so that was very interesting to me. I do feel like that darker tone, sometimes I don't like it so much because I feel like this whole screen is dark. But also it's very interesting because this is kind of the opposite effect, which makes it more bright, which kind of gives it kind of an anime-ish vibe, which is kind of strange, and I'm not sure if I like that or not. But ultimately it was a really good season. Episode 1, I am so surprised that they dropped all 8 episodes on day 1. I thought it was going to be a week, but I might just have to binge this. Maybe I'll just give my thoughts after I watch each episode, but I might just binge it. I'm not really sure. I like it so far, and I think it's going to be pretty good. It's really cool. In the beginning, when Gold Roger was getting executed, it's interesting to see Garp there, especially with I think he has a Scottish accent, which is kind of interesting. And then you see Mihawk in the crowd, along with some other characters as well. I want to say some of them should probably look familiar, but not as much. Also, the interaction with Shanks in the beginning, when the bandit pirates come down and hassle Shanks, is kind of interesting because that whole interaction is a little bit different. And I feel like this is actually better because in the anime, I feel like Shanks definitely gets looked down upon a lot more from the bandit pirates, and that doesn't happen as much in this show. So it doesn't show, I feel like it doesn't portray as much, but it's maybe a little bit closer to reality of what somebody might do and they think they win. But it's very, very interesting. I really liked how the look of Yasopp, Ben Beckman, is super cool. As long as Rowdy, I think his name is. So that is super cool. I like the look of Mihawk as well. We'll just see how he looks later on. And yeah, I'm just really excited about this. I think the bar, I thought the bar was going to be set too high, and I don't think it's completely met. I don't think it's at 100%, but I think it's firing at least 80-75%, which is way better than any other live action adaptation that's been made. And I'm just super excited about this. I can't wait to watch 7 more episodes. And I want to see who is in the crowd of the execution of Gold Roger. Who are those other people in the crowd? I am super excited. So tell me what you think in the comments below. Did you binge all 8 episodes already? Have you seen this? What do you think about this? They also played Binks no Sake while they were in Makino's bar. That was so awesome. That was so great. So the music, I really hope they I mean, man, you gotta at least play We Are at some point in time, and oh my god, that song is escaping me now. The Walk to Arlong Park song. Why do I not know it? I play it on the piano. I can't think of it. But you know what song I'm talking about. And they gotta have that song in there. And man, that is the only thing that I hope they throw in there, because this would be really cool. But yeah, tell me what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching. We'll see ya. Bye.